Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Smart Poker's YouTube channel and another episode of Sundazd and Confused, number 98. And as always, Crispy Wannabes here with me, and we both want to extend everyone a very warm and happy Merry Christmas, right?
Cheers, everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus.
Oh, there's Kitty. Kitty agrees.
Here. We're getting stoned. We're smoking some Violet Beauregard.
Shit, Kitty's going nuts. What's wrong, girl?
She likes that Violet Beauregard.
Yes,
man.
she does.
She's like, yeah, sign me up for some of that.
All right. We're going to get the link up there if anybody wants to join. You're welcome to hang out.
Snot and I had a very busy Festivus, actually. We harvested the rest of our plants out of our tent.
Yeah. And we flipped the tent. And that's why we got nothing to put on the screen. We're caught in that weird thing to where at this time of day, we're going to have no lights on or nothing growing until the 1st, which is only a week. But cheers to the chat, XYZ, Terp. Old school Jason A. Nice to see you here, buddy.
Artman, how you doing today? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. How we doing?
Good, man.
Oh, we're doing great. I like your Santa hat.
Yeah.
I was gonna wear it, but nobody sees my head, so what the hell?
And they're itchy, aren't they? We have one that's real itchy, and then one that's real old that isn't like itchy. It's weird.
I don't know about the itch factor.
Man. We had one that I wore it somewhere we went like 2 years ago, and it was itchy like crazy. But I have another one that doesn't. Yeah, your plants look like they're having a merry time.
Oh, they're enjoying the holidays.
Oh, to a degree. The one on the left is actually scalped considerably. I took 3 clones off of that, and I cut all the other branches down probably 4 or 5 inches. But until I get roots, I'm keeping it alive, of course.
Right on.
Oh yeah, smart. Wow.
And as soon as I get roots, it's gone. So.
Yeah.
You're gonna get, before you know it, you're quick at that. Following along, you get roots pretty quickly.
Rock.
Yes, rock wool.
Hey, cheers, Jason A. We'll be over in a minute, man. I just want to let you know we see you.
And Merry Christmas to ya.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Oh, we got somebody else on the... Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Let's see here. We go check him out. Artman, is your other light on?
Yeah.
You want to do it now, or do you want to wait?
You can go ahead and see his if you want. It looks like an impressive grow.
It don't matter to me. I know you're... Jason, you going to hang out for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm here for a while. I'm a bit under the weather here, but I'm joining.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do mine first.
All right.
We can get it out of the way, or I don't care. Whatever you want, buddy.
I want to see your plants, Artman. I saw a picture this morning that was like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got that picture that I wanted you to put up?
Oh, the picture. I don't know how.
Yeah. You don't know how? Okay. Well, you're going to have to get that down someday.
You got to give me a second to... Let me...
Just give him some time. He'll get it. Maybe not.
Don't worry about it.
Well,
we don't have to worry about
the picture, but what I can do is share... I can share my screen real quick. If I get my messages up.
Your garden's looking gorgeous, though, Artman. Beautiful.
I noticed that the buds aren't shooting up on the sides as much as they had been with the other light too. So I'm not sure.
I got it up here. The before. I got the before picture, Art. Is that what we're looking for?
That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, chat, check this out. It was absolutely insane. The growth I had on this thing, it was like, it was nuts. It was. As soon as he gets that up there, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is crazy. I had to do something about it because my humidity was off the scale too. But I lollipopped her today, or defoliated, whatever you want to call it.
You put in the work. I always hate doing that, but it's necessary.
All right, I'm going to try this here. Let's see. Why is it not? Select the tab to share.
There you go.
I got it. I found it. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Share it.
There it is. I don't know if you are seeing it.
Oh, yeah. No. There it is. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah.
That whole bottom was absolutely full all the way down. I mean, it was, you couldn't see. I have a little crowbar down there I tied the plant to. You couldn't see that at all. It was buried. I mean, it had, just about dropped my phone. It had, I mean, it had grown so much since the last time you guys saw it. It was insane. So, but you can see it's all thick there. And if you look at the live shot, you know, it's a lot better. A lot of circulation now. We don't need any powdery mildew. We don't need botrytis. And I'll kick on my lower fan. It's off right now, but I'll have a fan blowing up through the bottom, up through the top. So, and these girls, the buds, they're pretty even. I've got one in just about, it's not a hemp with Gigi in every hole, but it's not too bad this time. It's not bad.
Oh,
so
my.
Once it fills out,
man,
and this is
that's an
2 weeks
understatement.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an understatement, Art, man. That's beautiful. You did a great job. And what the work that you put in today, man, I know the work involved cutting out those leaves, and lollipopping can be a pain in the ass, but it's necessary. You did a great job.
You could have supplied a small commercial op with all those clones you cut this morning, man. You know, you probably threw away 30 cuts.
Oh, there was a full kitchen garbage bag full. I mean, I stuffed it full of, I'd say probably more than a third of the stuff. So
for us, that helps us with watering and shit too, cleaning them up down there. Keeps the tips from laying in the soil or the cocoa, you know, them lower leaves. So there's other factors, but for you, some of those aren't really in play as much, but it does have it'll have a less of a load on your dehumidifier and shit too, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you know?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then I got my cloner going. Got a few clones. I always take more than I need. So
I think the most important part of that is for me is directing all that energy up towards the top 18 inches, which is where the sweet spot is, in my opinion. You know, the top 18 inches. That's what everybody wants, right?
Well, I'm hoping now this light, obviously, I mean, to anybody who's seen my grow, it's a lot whiter than the other one. It was more of a red. It had more reds to it.
Yeah.
So it was more of an orange glow to it. And they say that red promotes stretching to some degree. So I'm hoping that this won't stretch on me. I took out a lot of leaf. Sometimes that promotes stretching on its own. So we'll see. I wrote it all down.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quickly, Merry Christmas, XYZ. How are you doing today, buddy?
I couldn't hear that, man. It sounds like you're in a tunnel.
I said I'm a little bit under the weather today, but I'm feeling.
Damn, you
another
too.
one.
Jason's sick over here too. I hope you guys don't cough on us.
I'm spraying my tablet. Okay. I'm spraying my tablet right now.
I think I got sick from XYZ. I don't know how.
Yeah. Give these guys an airborne.
Oh, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, man. Soon. You know, it was a thing when I was a kid. I'd always get sick right before a big holiday. It might be Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I always get like really sick and like get a flu or something. It was just the worst luck. And I remember my mom getting like, she felt bad for me. She's upset at the same time, thinking I got to take care of this shit while I'm cooking dinner and family's coming, and never failed. So I feel bad for you guys, man. I know how it is. All that food sitting around and you can't even taste anything. And I hope you guys get better quick.
Yeah, me too. But it is what it is. It's not that bad.
Back to the red light. I have a thought. The red light stretching is mainly for seedlings, if you ask me, or vegetative plants, I should say, is more how I think of them. Yeah. When we get more into the flowering zone or bigger plants, when you're moving your plants in there, it's my belief that the red light is it has benefits on like trichomes and all that. Everybody is aware of different spectrums and stuff. I'm not sure to what extent, but I think a lot of it is that it's a way to deliver light efficiently. You can get photosynthetic light out of it. Now that we know that the photosynthetic range goes clear to 750 nanometers instead of 700, they can add those in, get us more photosynthetic, activity with the light. But I know what you're saying, Art, but I honestly believe that the stretch you'll see during the bolt won't be a direct result of a bunch of red light as it will be from a healthy function of your plant's reproductive cycle. That's just my take. Now, if you put seedlings under it or something and it has a lot of red or early vegging plants, then I guess I see the difference. I'm not as strong on wavelength impact as I wish I was.
Oh, I don't know light science. You got me on that.
Yeah, I often stumble, and I have a lot of good ideas, but a lot of times I have to go to other people to make sure I can put them together correctly in my head. The math and shit. It gets pretty overwhelming, and I never claim to understand it all, but enough to make sure that you can help somebody not burn their plants up and understand why they want things the way they do. But the red light spectrum and the blues and stuff can get kind of, there's a lot of unknown signs and different things, but pretty much what we know is that red. That's 750. We have a flower button on our light, man, and it adds like 30 watts of red. All it does is take the red dyes that I have from 30% to 100%.
Huh. Yeah, I don't have a button on mine. I looked when you asked me, though. I had to come downstairs and check it out. It's like, hey, maybe I do.
Lights. Yeah, those are great lights, man.
You made me go up and down the stairs, Danny.
You're welcome, man.
That's good exercise, right? Maybe.
Oh, do you have any idea how many laps I do every day?
Roxanne, you don't have to turn on that red light.
Oh my goodness. You're right. You're absolutely right. Oh, almost.
Oh, that was painful. Ouch.
It's weird. They have. Hey. Trying to do something. She hits you with that. I almost clicked remove from stage. They have solo layout, so like I'm about to put Jason on the big screen, but they have the next button up is remove from stage. You think they separate those a little bit more here?
I know. I don't like that layout. Smott's fat fingers is going to do something someday, but I assure you, it'll be accidental.
Yeah, if you get booted.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You dropped it from a ladder, didn't you? That's it. Yeah.
That's right. So our buddy Jason, man, it's you know what? That looks a little blurry to me, but it's full. You guys getting a little blur?
Beautiful fullness.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of blur.
I don't know if
you're a lot of buds. A lot of buds.
What strains you got going on?
So I've got 3 different strains growing here. I've got cherry pie right here in the front. That's the tallest one. It stayed pretty level. I had to do the old milk crate trick there. And then in the middle is a banana kush. I think you guys are about to start growing that on the challenge here coming up.
We sure are, man. I was glad to hear you say that you had one or some.
Yeah, it's actually the biggest yielder out of this. I mean, it's pretty fat inside here. And then in the back here's Pineapple Express.
Oh wow! You know what? I don't think I've ever smoked that Pineapple Express. No, I gotta say this though, Jason. I'm not real good with like a lot of people. You could tell them a strain like they're like Jackery.
Yeah,
they'll be like, oh, that's
all the flavors.
Yeah, that's like, a strawberry. But anyhow,
strawberry mango with a little pine under some. And you're like, wow.
So what really we did. What was the name of it? It was the Blue Muted Triangle crossed with Farmer's Fire. And I tell you what, that thing smells like a pineapple so strong. It's in our cans. We just harvested it the day before. And you brought up pineapple, man, which is what cued me. It was the smallest plant.
But it was like she really does smell like pineapple. And the very first time we've had that pineapple terp smell come out of our garden. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, this had kind of a weird, I don't know, it's kind of like a spicy kind of citrus smell to it, but the banana kush, man, that smells like a fresh bundle of bananas. I mean, and like banana pudding. It's real sweet. It definitely has the biggest nose. Yeah, it's really good. It's awesome. I can't wait to smoke it.
Oh, I can't wait.
I was going to say, have you ever smoked that strain or any of these strains you ever grow before?
Yeah, so actually I worked at a commercial grow for about a year. So I got about 18 harvests down up there. And then this is actually my second home grow. The first one I had was actually in a 4x8 tent. This is a 5x5, a gorilla. But I grew a GG4 the first time, and it came out really good. I had a lot of obstacles. That's when my house flooded out, so it was really a pain in the ass. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass to have to come over here, and this was pretty much the only thing left in my house. Everything else was gutted out, so I kept my grow going over here while the construction was going on. So I came back here and watered them and took care of them as I needed to, but it was just a pain in the ass. And I mean, I had a decent yield on that. I think I got about 10 ounces. I'm only allowed to grow 6 plants here. I live in Oklahoma. So I got about 10 ounces, and I had some seeds in it. I mean, I didn't have any outward signs of it hurting, but when I got into the bud, started smoking some of it, I noticed a few seeds here and there, but nothing too bad.
Right on. I'm trying to put you back on the stage.
Doc's gonna kill me. I got an oscillating tower fan there. Don't tell Doc that.
Well, you know what? I wanted to let you know the chat scene, like we're having a hard. It's very blurry, and they're saying you might have a rough Wi-Fi connection. But I just want to let you know that we're having a hard time seeing any detail. But I do see a full ass tent.
Oh yeah.
What are you growing in? Are you growing in soil, cocoa, what?
So I'm growing in cocoa. I have 3-gallon pots down here.
Cool.
Yeah, I got good Wi-Fi on my end. I don't know if it's a setting or maybe my camera is just blurry. Hang on, let me see if I can wipe it off. See, I'm in 3 gallons. I'm using the AC Infinity of the auto water pots.
How are you liking that setup?
I really like them. I've had really good success so far with them. But I know one thing: you don't trust this gauge right here. I mean, it comes in handy, but it sticks on it a lot. So, but other than that, yeah, they just wick up from the bottom. They hold a gallon, 1 1/4 gallon of water, and it keeps them wet, all day. So it's like an auto watering system, but it's heating.
Oh, we lost you. Lost your audio. You might want to back. You might want to back out of your tent if you can hear us.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I want to say I like that tower oscillating fan because you get so much height out of it. You're getting it across your whole plant.
Yeah, because it pretty much goes from the bottom of the canopy to the top of the canopy, so it just puts like a blade of air through the whole canopy. Yeah. And I actually had to raise it up a little bit because they were getting tall. These cherry pies in the front, they stretched on me, so I had to do some LST in time to get them back down to height with the other plants.
Yeah, that's one of the banes of a multi-strain grows, which we're always doing here ourselves. And I'm a fan of your crate trick. I use the crate trick.
Yeah, we do.
It's very important for me to, even though, because I want those genetics. Now, if it was a monocrop, maybe I'd let that plant get shattered out. But if it's just a stout plant and someone's along, I put mine on a crate, because if not, we all know that the taller plants will easily dominate that plant's portion of the canopy. And I get pissed. I'm like, damn, I really want to taste these genetics. Get the frick out of the way,
Get out the way, yo. Get out the way, yo.
That's right. And so I dig it, and it really looks good the way you got it there, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, like I said, this is just my second grow, so learn and improve. I'm hoping a pound and a half out of this. I would like to consistently pull 2 pounds out of this. It's a 5x5, so I think I'll get there.
I believe that's very reasonable and attainable goal.
You'll be able to achieve that for sure.
You're going to get a pound and a half off of this. It's hard for me to see detail, but
I can see the lumps in the yeah.
There you go.
I can see the lumps.
Looks pretty good.
I have another question, Jason.
Yeah.
Do you know? You mentioned you got those Banana Kush as cut. Do you know what the lineage is on those by chance?
I forgot what they're crossed with. It's something skunk.
Okay, is it a Ghost OG crossed with a skunk haze?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's the exact same lineage we're going to be growing. Now, it might be from a different person, but at least it's not like two different strains and people just name them the same thing, because I don't know how prevalent that is, but I always check, to make sure. I'm glad that you do that, because that's cool.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, that is, someone told me that just because I'm growing a, let's say, Blue Dream, and they're growing a Blue Dream, because they're from different breeders, they're not the same. And that just like kind of threw me a little bit, like, what? So my Blue Dream and your Blue Dream might as well be Granddaddy Purple and
Blue Dream.
And Blue Dream then. Yeah. I mean, so it kind of like confused me a little bit. And
I don't
still quite grasp how that all goes.
Well, I think this is the difference between respected breeders and people who are just putting two strains together and saying, I made this in my bedroom, I'm calling it Purple Haze, or something. And that's how I view it. Yeah, maybe that's a little oversimplified, but I feel like there's a certain group of people, like if you go get some, I don't know, Subcool or In-House or some of these other big names that people seem to really respect and know these guys for a long time, if you buy theirs, you're going to get a true Northern Lights crossed with something, the Northern Lights that everybody thinks of and references in their head, if they're, that dude.
Okay.
So that's how I see it, but I'm not sure, I'm not. That's why I ask him, because, I feel like, you're Joe Schmo from California. You could take a Granddaddy Purple and a Mac, slam them together and call it Purple Tie if you want, right? And then I might be buying some Purple Tie from Subcool, which is like the real deal. But now people are going to, you don't really know what you're getting.
That makes sense to me.
But it gets,
yeah, because I will tell you that GG4 I grew the first time. It kind of had a grape note to it, and people were telling me like original GG4, it's more like a gassy kind of strain. So yeah, I think genetics kind of get washed out over time.
Yep.
And then you have phenotypical expressions and your environmentals and just everything else that can change. We've grown 4 of the same strain before, in a couple different tents, and
pretty much
all 4 come out completely different. So we've seen.
Well, check this out. It's good that we're on this, because we just harvested yesterday 2. What was those 2 with the lumpy buds?
We did lava cake.
Lava cakes. We were harvesting 2 lava cakes grown from seed. They both had the same bud structure, man. It was all wonky. They didn't have like a nice cone at the top. Not a single one of them. Every one came out like horns and all kind of weird.
We should explain. We've grown same strains before that looked alike. But I'm talking, these buds didn't look like anything that we've ever grown before. They were, like Smot said, lumpy and looking weird. And I thought, how strange for those lumpy buds to come out on both of those plants.
Being from seed like that. But because you don't often see that. We've had some, like she said. But I find this be the part of the awe moment of growing. I see all these things going down. And even if it's a repetitious thing that I've seen, I'm always amazed by, like, or maybe not amazed, but, I always take into consideration all those different things, and it makes you excited. I can't wait to grow those again. And here's the other thing. The littlest weakest plant in our tent, in my mind, was the most pungent smelling. And we put it in the Cannatral with a couple other strains because they weren't huge plants, you know. And that thing, when we open the Cannatral, that's the only thing you smell in there, and it's the Bermuda Triangle. It smells like pineapple. It blows me away. I'm not sure how I feel about the pineapple yet. I like that smell.
Oh, she smells great. Yeah, and she looks frosty as hell. I'm excited about all of those strains, to be honest. When they're all chopped down, I just get super stoked. Like, wonder what the high is gonna be, how the ending final product tastes. Are we, you know, that those things are going to be exciting because they're right around the corner for us.
What else was we having? Where was we at?
Oh, we're
I feel like we're
just about to head into the stratosphere.
I didn't eat no breakfast.
Just
man.
a couple of notes. I'm gonna have to go.
I gotta quit coming to the shows without eating, man.
Hey, you know, you get busy and sometimes we forget to eat.
Felt like it was coming back around.
I'll tell you what, I love that humidifier. You can it pipes into the tent up there, so you can leave it out sitting out.
What they
and just refill it right there. Yeah,
that big fucker. Yeah, I love it.
Those are nice.
Yeah, and it plugs into the tent, so you can really dial in your humidity level there up on the controller.
See, this confuses
a little high humidity now.
Okay, you got it all hooked up to the controller because you know the way I run my room. If I put a humidifier in my tent, it's not going to do anything but get sucked right out of it with the exhaust. So I have to condition my lung room and drag that air through my tent versus trying to condition the tent itself. And I couldn't do it. That's weird. When I see people doing that, I'm amazed at how great they're able to control their environment. But I guess the caveat, the big thing here is that controller will back your exhaust fan down when needed, right? Am I correct? It's going to back it off whenever the humidity is low.
I've got it set on the zones there. So like I keep it at a minimum setting so that exhaust fan is always running because I don't want to stink up my house. But it has a trigger on it. So if it starts getting up into like the mid 50s or higher on the humidity, it'll start ramping up. And honestly, I don't have a problem with low humidity. It's, if anything, more higher humidity. I guess it all depends on where you live and what the ambient humidity is, you know, just naturally outside, you know, what you're having to work with starting off with.
For me, it's always high humidity. Well, I should say most of the time. We might suffer here a little bit later, like for 2 months with some low humidity when it gets cold. But here we are in the middle of December. End of December, and we're still fighting humidity. It's going to be 58 degrees tomorrow, and like rainy, just like it is today, and that creates a really tough environment. But we had plants down that were flowering, and now we're in veg only until the first we'll start seedling. So, or we just flipped actually. So we just started. That's why we don't have nothing. We have our lights on at night. So, but I appreciate you coming on, Jason, and sometimes I feel like I banter people. I've been trying to space my questions out a little more so it doesn't feel so attacking.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I was wanting to go on Doc's show, but his show starts too late. My lights are off at that point, so I couldn't do a tour there.
No, that's great. I'm glad he was able to make it over, and we got to see him. We want to remind everybody to sign up for the new. My wife went and got us some coffees. God bless her. I packed a bowl for us. We're down to like we're down to like a half an eighth of Violet Beauregard. So we figured the holidays here, it's time to and we got a Stacy in the tent there, or in the Cannatral, I mean. So we figured it's time to bust out the special buds. What are you guys smoking today?
Oh, Amy Aces and Purple Urkel.
Ooh.
New England Rock Candy.
That's the rest of my GG4 there that I had left over.
It was decent. What do you got that in? A bucket that breathes or something there?
Yeah, so this is, I put this in docs, Chad. It's automatic curing system. So these are check valves right here. And that's a silicone tubing that you poke holes into it. And that's an exit valve right here. So it pumps in and pressurizes it. So you can just plug in here on the outside. And I've got let me see if I can dig it out.
Not great. Like you're showing stuff, but it's catching up way late. So you'll have to forgive me for not being able to follow right along. But I see what you're doing, and I'm curious because I've seen. I didn't mean to interrupt, but Jason, I've seen this dude on YouTube that has a bubbler system with water. It's like an automatic breather for, say, wine or something. As it ferments, it breathes off. Well, he had this shit for like breathing buckets off. And when I saw yours, that's what I thought of. So going back, what is that? The pump?
Yeah, that's just an aquarium pump, and so it has a manifold on it. I plug it into a timer, and it comes on once a day for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes, and it just pumps air into the bucket here.
Yeah.
So I put a gamma lid on there so it's airtight, and it pressurizes it, and then it evacuates the air automatically. That way it just it burps it for you, so you don't have to come in here and take the lids off of 20, 30 jars or whatever you got.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The air that you're pumping in your bucket, how are you assuring that the relative humidity of it is lower than what you're trying to replace and shit?
I just keep a Bavita pack in there, and it's a two-way pack, so it keeps it at 62.
Because, here's my first thought process, Jason. We've had buds go to shit on us because it got real moist in the closet that we used to dry and cure in. So we'd be like 8 days in, and all of a sudden we'd get a rainstorm. No one's at home, and the humidity would spike. You come home, and your buds went from nice and dry to spongy again. And I feel like if you was in that situation where you had a humid room and you clicked that thing on and it pumped all that humid air down through a bucket full of buds, it makes me a little bit sick to my stomach. So I was just curious if you had like a special place that you only, like you're in your basement, it's always dry down there or something like that,
No, so I just keep this in the same room as my tent here. This is actually my office right here by the front of my house. And I don't know what the ambient humidity is. Right now it says it's 64% with the door open for the tent. So that's probably about my lung room humidity. So it's actually pretty good right now, but it doesn't pump in a lot of air. It only comes on for about a minute. So it's not like you're pumping in a ton of air in there, just enough to pressurize it and evacuate that air. And then that humidity pack in there, that if it is too humid, it'll bring it back down or vice versa. But I've had this in here for probably about 8 months storing in this bucket, and it's still really fresh. I mean, it's nice, and I mean, it's not too dry. It's not too spongy, and it still smokes real fresh. I mean, it's almost as good as the day when I pulled it down.
Well, I want to say something here about my understanding of this. And it's my understanding when people burp jars, and this might be contrary to popular belief, that when you burp your jar, you're not actually letting off gases that are happening. I believe it's just a fact of letting out stale air and replacing with good air, and I believe also that there's the enzymes are breaking down, kind of need that air, I think, a little bit. You can't have it too bad. And I think that's what helps cure our buds more so than releasing gases. But I get what you're doing, and I appreciate it. And I'm not saying that contradicts anything you said. It just happened to come on my mind that I think a lot of people think that they're leaving gases out. I always thought that. And maybe there's some kind of study that shows the different than that, but that's what I've been like.
Yeah, I don't know the exact science behind the curing. I do know they build up the gases there, and I heard that those gases kind of help break down the chlorophyll, and get that kind of hay or plant smell and taste out of it, to really give it a good cure. I usually cure for about a month. That's like my sweet spot, and then I'll take it off this curing system. Yeah. And then I'll just come in like once a week and open the lid for, maybe 10 minutes, and then that's it. Yeah. But I keep it airtight all the time in that bucket.
And you said that you've had your buds stored in that for 8 months. That's pretty awesome. I like your setup. with the pump and the air, and so you don't even actually have to take off the lid, right?
No, yeah. So I just leave the lid on. I've got a timer that I just plug in the wall. I don't have it on me right now, but kind of like for your irrigation system, yeah, you just program it and it just automatically comes on and it pumps air in for about a minute, and shuts itself off. You just leave the lid on. That check valve will let the air out once it achieves like a certain level of air pressure in there, and it prevents air from coming in as well. So it keeps it airtight the whole time.
That is really, really cool. I love to see these things that are being done for after your plant is down, and the curing process and the storing. I don't think that there's enough emphasis or information about that personally, in my opinion.
I agree.
So when I see things like this, I think it's awesome. You said that you had you did like an article over the cocoa for cannabis. You said you had something over there.
I shared the link of where I actually got this. I didn't design this. I just found this on the internet and built it myself. And actually, when I worked at that commercial grow, I built them a more larger scale system. It had about 100 buckets like this, and we had several pumps like this. This has 6 ports on that manifold. Theirs had 12, and but yeah, it worked great even in that commercial setting. The flower was real fresh and product was great. So it works really good. I mean, I'm sure it's not as nice as like a Canatrol system, but I mean, for the price and I mean, I'm satisfied with it. I'm happy with the product. And like I said, it stores it really nice in there, keeps it fresh.
That's awesome. And the best thing about all this is that you're at a capacity where you're growing bucketfuls of medicine, man. I mean, let's not get lost in the fact all the particulars. The dude's growing bucketfuls
and
of
you're
medicine.
Protecting that harvest with what you're doing.
I love it.
That's important.
Yeah, because you can put about 2 pounds in there. I don't have much left. I got about maybe 3 ounces left. Good thing I'm about to harvest here in the next week or so. But yeah, you can put about 2 pounds in there comfortably in that bucket with, you might have to put 2 Bavita packs in there if you had it full.
Right on. I see our
buddy. Merry Christmas, Iceni. How are you doing, buddy?
Cheers, everyone. Doing good, thank you. Sorry I was a little bit late again. Busy.
Oh, that's all right.
Running around like headless chickens.
Yeah.
Cheers up, man.
Hey, XYZ.
Yo, what's up?
Thunder Dan asked a question in the chat. He said, how does XYZ shake them bottles on that stand? Do you ever have any problems with like settling in any of your bottles? You don't use Rapid Start, right?
No, I don't use Rapid Start.
Cool.
No, I don't.
That's
shake
about
them.
the only thing we use that I think that settles.
Yeah, I used to have stirring bars and a magnetic stirrers for all the things, but it was a waste of time. It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. So. I noticed the only thing that we ever used off of the G8 schedule, which was Rapid Start, was the only thing that seemed to have any kind of sediment. Everything else is very stable, seems suspended well.
Yeah, the Rapid Start, I used to use it, but I don't like it that much anymore because of its ingredients.
I don't like it either for the price, and I just didn't see. I ran out one time and quit using it and didn't really notice any difference in growth rate. And it always blew my mind that they don't recommend it for the first week. And that seems like the time when you really want to build those roots and get them the healthiest you can. And I just always thought that was weird.
Yeah, from the start, being Rapid Start, I don't know why you couldn't start at the start.
But according to them, you don't want to use it until it's day 7. And I'm like, why? But I don't know. I just quit using it. It's very expensive. It's like,
we have ignored that little thing too and never noticed a difference when we put her on.
Yeah, we used it from day
one. And, as a side-by-side experiment and didn't notice anything.
Disclaimer, I use Armor Psi from day 1 as well.
Yeah, and I feel inferior over here with the XYZ homemade dosatron, and I just got my little watering bucket and can.
Don't
So
feel
that's
bad.
how we do it, Jason. We do it like that.
It's a labor of love, dude. We've been doing it like that for many years, man.
Well,
At least
you
once a day,
guys,
sometimes, you know.
you guys put it, 10, 20 minutes a day into it. I've had to put a whole week into getting this thing back together. So you either pay now or pay later, but you always got to pay.
That's
exactly. That is true. You're going to pay one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. In God we trust, all others pay cash, right? Let's go
No
check
shit.
it out.
Yeah, let's get a good look at that machine. It's beautiful. It looks super freaking cool. I'll never forget the first time I saw you doing that, pulling that stuff out.
Well, right now I'm doing the most dreaded part of it, but at least it's not too difficult. I got to calibrate all my pumps and get them all set up here.
But I think Smod asked you, but do you have to shake those bottles up every now and then to make sure that they're, mixed up good?
No, well, I'll shake them. Okay, I shook one. Okay, that's me. No, I haven't had much selling issues in these lighter nutrients. But if I had like a Floralicious or like Smod was pointing out the rapid start, then I'd have to have a stirring mechanism. Now I used to have stirring.
You have the straw down to the bottom, and every time you mix a batch, which is daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
Every day
remember, it had those stirs.
Just that little bit of motion of sucking some out every day is kind of probably going to be like a stirring effect a little bit too. But I'm with you. I've had mine sitting there for a long time. I have gallons of it downstairs that I don't shake those up when I dump it in. It seems to be very, very stably spread throughout the solution. Kind of like a can of cola. It's got a shit ton of sugar in it, but you never see it settled at the bottom.
Yeah,
regardless of how long it sits.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen. Never.
Yeah, I'm still running. I'm still running Athena, but I'm almost out. I think I'm going to switch over to Doc's setup with what you guys are using with the general hydroponics when I get finished. I'm almost out of the bloom nutrients. I still have quite a bit of CalMag, so I think I can still use this brand of CalMag with the hydroponics or the general hydroponics line.
Yeah, you probably can.
You should be fine. What's the NPK on it? It's not really high, like 10.00, is it?
No, it's 2.
You're fine. See that. Yep. You won't upset your nutrient element ratio too much because ours is a 100.
I'd love to be able to use this PK because I got about a half a bottle, but I don't think I can do that with the general hydroponics.
You won't need it, man. I've cut out all PK boosters, and I can't remember the statistics, but I think our buddy Brian 420 in the chat knows what I'm talking about here. I may not get this correct, Jason, but there was a study that showed the over application of bloom nutes, particularly phosphorus, on plants, and they found that a lot of people were applying it. I'm just going to use general numbers here. Like most people applied it like 100 or 120 parts per million, when their study found the most effective to be at like 30. That and that's the shit that's killing the Gulf of Mexico from all the runoff, and it's like pretty bad to have that extra shit in the environment. And I find our plants, we don't have any antagonistic effects between our nutrients since we cut out the extra PK boosters. Now, that's just one regular Joe construction guy's view of it, man. I'm not as well versed.
Well, I believe that, like I know Athena, and other brands, they push for that high EC recommendation. And, you guys are probably running half the EC is what I'm running. But I probably will try to use this stack right here. It's basically just a kelp extract. That was like $80 for that little bottle right there, and I barely used any of it. So I could still use stuff like that, even switching over to general hydroponics. I just use that as a foliar application all the way through about week 2 of flower. Whenever they start producing pistils, I stop using that.
You're right. We do run a low EC. We never broke 100, and we just harvested our plants out of that tent. That I tell you, that not one of them was ever undernourished in what I can see and what I could tell.
You mean, you don't mean we never broke 100?
1.0.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I didn't want him to confuse anybody,
Thank
because
you
I
for
was like,
reminding
wait, I'm confused now,
No.
because that's not the real information.
No, it's a 1.0. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. We was really at like 800-900 all the way through flower. And you know what's crazy is we run our light densities and our AC the same, about 800 in flower. And then when we got down to late flower towards our ripen phase, we back it off a little bit, but not so much that we lose turgor pressure and make it a real son of a bitch to trim, because all your leaves are laying on your buds instead of nice and proud. So we only drop back to like maybe a 0.7, 0.6 range, which is like seedling newts for most people. And we find it very, very weird, man, that not a lot of people run. Most people run over a 1.0 from like week 1 or 2. And we don't realize that until pretty much flower. And I always feel weird because we're different than everybody in that aspect, and I can't really figure it out.
Well, I mean, if you don't need it, I mean, like you said, if you're not undernourishing your plants, there's just no need for it. Because I know this Athena line right here, they recommend a 2.1 EC just in veg from the start, and then it goes up from there. It caps out at, I think it's at 2.4 during flower at one point where it peaks out, and then it tapers back down. So I'm back down to 1.5 right now, and that's the low end. But I'm in my final week, so probably later on this week I'll start flushing, just RO water, and I use the cleanse over there, which is I guess Flora Clean is the general hydroponics version. It's just a hydrochloric acid.
It makes me think there's some kind of a, I don't know, how do they say, ghost, like a ghost salinity in there. I just don't know where all that salinity comes from. Because here's what I see, Jason, and I've tried this many times. If I break a 1.2 EC, I don't care how many times a day I'm watering. I could be watering. We were up to 18 times on automated fertigation.
Yep.
But if I run a 1.2, it's a anything over a 1.2, I start getting really dark, shiny leaves, clawed marks. And
burn sometimes.
It just turns out shitty. I feel like it takes away from, I don't know. They don't smell. They smell different when I run them stressed like that, not in a good way. And the osmotic stress just seems to always dominate my grow when I go too high. So, you know what happened, Jason? I tried and tried and tried, and eventually I got so frustrated. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm running 0.5 until I see that they're falling over hungry. And I was amazed at how great they did for so long. Then I raised it a little bit because they would show, a little bit of CalMag or something. And I'm like, damn. And I've started realizing a long time ago that it's much different. I've been blamed for EC shaming. So I try to watch what I say. I don't want anybody to think that, but it's like a waste of nutrients. And there's some kind of ghost salinity in there because I can't see how they do that. It's wild. It's wild to me. But yeah, I feel like
because honestly, I haven't had any problems with my plants. I mean, they're super healthy. I got just a very small amount of burnt tips on the edge, but nothing too much to concern about. But I do know, like on my cherry pies, that the ones here in the front, that they did get a little bit darker green. So I did cut back on the CalMag a few weeks back a little bit. But they weren't getting toxic, they weren't curling at all. But everything else is, it's just green all the way throughout. So, I wasn't running into problems per se, like with the high EC, but I'm definitely going to try out Doc's, feeding regimen. I'm going to set up the auto watering system, and I'm probably going to raise my tent. I'll probably put it up on blocks so I can do a gravity fed drain system to come out.
Yep. That's how we're going to do ours. I agree. I'm glad, man, that we got to go over that. Hey, Iceni, I'm sorry I've been talking while I got you on the big screen, and the chats over here, they're on your. They want to go back to the avocado. I think I'm trying to keep track of everything. I'm sorry, Jason. I feel like I was being a bad host here for a minute.
No, you're good. I saw some beautiful purple weed in there too. I'd like to go back to.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too. Yeah, I too like the avocado worm thing.
Let's start throwing stuff all over the place. Right, let's go at this. This
Oh,
is the,
look at that.
Which
is
one's
the-
that?
This is the blueberry muffins from Agnes hooked me these, but the breeder, or Agnes bred these ones, but
Right on. Cheers, Agnes Beckett.
if anyone's seen him, just let me know if he's all right, because I ain't heard from him for a while. I'm a little bit concerned, when you don't hear from people for a while.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
It makes you wonder.
this one's got hit up with the OG Kush, so I'll have some. Hopefully, I'll have some nice stuff to pass around next year. Looking forward. And this chunky,
those look like great.
Yeah, these are just awesome. I think these have still got a few weeks. I'd imagine probably 3 or 4 weeks left on this still. So I think this is going to be like some big baseball bats by the time we're all said and done with that one.
Oh, yeah.
They look
looking real good. Looking great.
Yeah.
This one only got touched with a tiniest little bit of pollen I can see in the top buds. They're only catched a little bit, but hopefully. Well, this has got a really nice. All I can say is Z terps. That's what that one is. Got this one down here, which I'm not sure because I had that tray drop.
I remember.
Yeah. So some of the stuff I don't know what it is. So it could be a bubble gum. It could be an Amy Aces. It could be anything. But yeah. And we got this one here, which I think
surprise. Yeah, man. The surprise buds can sometimes be the best. Man.
Yeah.
That's a tall one, huh? It's getting some long legs and buds are stacking all the way low. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got nice bud on it all the way down there, and there's a good hand in between them.
That's a little bit stretchier than that other one you showed us, huh?
Yeah. It's phenotype. Plus it's on the edge as well of my light. So that might be another reason. I do turn them. I like the 30 gallons because I can rotate them. So occasionally I'll come in and I'll rotate everything about. This is another blueberry muffin. This one's got what I call the classic terpy small buds. They're really loud, but they're not that big, I like a bud.
I can't wait. I can't wait to grow those either. Thanks for those beans. That's great.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. I love passing stuff out and hooking people up, They're
really pretty.
These are these 3 ones here that are just praying hard. These are the strawberries, the ones I've really liked from this year. This is my favourite strain to grow. It's really you can see it's just vigorous. It might turn out a bit different with topping it and everything else, but I like this seedling vigor. At the end of the day, all the nubs on there are going to end up like this. These hand grenades. That's what I like. Yep. I like the hand grenades. This one here is pretty foul smelling to me, but it's got a watermelon sort of flavour with gas. It starts off with gas, goes to a watermelon flavour, and then some berries on the end of it. But it just starts out with pure petroleum gas.
Nice.
That sounds like Smott's favorite.
Yeah,
he likes that gas.
I like anything that smells like gas or diesel or a skunky flavor like that.
Those old school terps.
We harvested Stacy yesterday, and she had the smell of like an old gym sock, but there was a sweet tone to it. It's an odd thing. It had like a
cheesy sweet cheese almost. It was weird.
There was a sweet cheesy flavor, but it definitely the cheese. I called it like an old nasty gym sock feet smell, man. But it's kind of good. That sounds bad, but it's kind of a good smell when you smell it on the cannabis. You're like, oh yeah, very pungent. But yeah, man, I know what you mean. And some of those things you hear, you're like meat breath. I'm thinking, I don't want anything. It's going to smell like meat breath. That's not an enjoyable. Or a garlic cookie. I always thought like a garlic cookie, but I get it, you know.
Yeah.
Who wants to eat a garlic laden cookie?
But
I think
sometimes
of chocolate
those
chip.
smells on the
give me chocolate chip.
Yeah, or coffee flavored, or yeah.
This is the one that I've grown for my partner, my wife.
Yes.
Yeah, as you can see, I've sort of been chasing a bit nitrogen deficiency the whole way through so far. I've not managed to get it to green right back up, but it's growing nice. You know, it's got that light, you know, that real light pale color about it, which ain't a bad thing, you know, in flower, I suppose.
Hey, Iceni, those strawberries that you said was your favorite, was those the ones that you grew in the smart pot before? They got real tall and purple. Which was those?
That was the Amy wine cheese. That was
Amy wine cheese. Okay, now this one here you're growing for your wife. In front of us, Brian 420 in the chat asked, "Is Iceni a caregiver?" Lots of people should enjoy his talent. So I think right there is part of the answer is he's growing that. And I don't know if he knows the story about your wife having the seizures and you getting the medicine to help her and really reduce it. It was amazing. Seriously, I think it's
incredible.
It's life
absolutely.
You know, I've never, you know, when people have said, you know, about talking about using cannabis as medicine, you know, I've sort of, you know, never really understood the actual implications and how beneficial it actually can be until, because I've always used it recreationally. I know I'm getting medical benefits from it, but I started off as a recreational user, so I never sought it out for medical reasons. But when my partner now had the issues with the seizures, and just one sort of, you know, one pipette full of the CBD oil just totally stopped them. I was like, wow, now that is medicine. When you can see it instantly have an effect, that is unreal to me.
Especially on someone that you love, someone that you know, and you're watching their move. You know your wife very well. You know her movements. You know how she's been and how she is now. And
well, it sort of changed my opinion as well. You know, I was always a hater of these isolated compounds and everything else. And I was like, when they first said everyone could have CBD, I was like, yes, because there's nothing good about it. You know, they've stripped it bare and left just one compound. It can't be. But I suppose there might be a little bit of a difference. The stuff I get is like a full spectrum CBD. Well, you know, I would imagine the isolated stuff is probably still terrible. You need well, in my opinion, you need all the other stuff, the terpenes and everything else is what's making the actual medicine.
Yeah, for like the entourage effect, like, you know, they're only good as an army together. You know, you separate them and they're weak. You know, a house divided cannot stand, right?
Yeah, it's like a delivery system.
I agree. They like,
but you got an army full of badasses. So if one of you gets separated, you still can kick ass.
Well, I think that's the point of the full spectrum oil too. It's my belief, you know, and again, this is just some construction worker's opinion, is that, you know, like if you take the Blue Dream buds and you mix them with, say, a Northern Lights bud or whatever, 2 strains and a couple of strains, you mix them all together. Now you might get compounds out of one plant and another one didn't have. And, you know, until you mix them together like that, then they play off each other. And that's the entourage effect. And I think I'm with you, Iceni. I never really thought about it as medicine, and actually until I got this show. And then I had people like Spartan Grown and some other folks come through here and tell us stories about literally people having like stage 1 cancer,
stage 4 cancer.
Or that's the worst
and being cured.
And I mean, that sounds like some bullshit, or that's, when I first started this journey, it sounded like, oh, people think that, they're overhyping its abilities and shit. And then you come and you meet people that you've known for a long time and really respect them. And they tell you this story with tears in their eyes. And you're like, holy shit, man. And that was my revelation. Is that this ain't just something that makes me feel good, man. This shit has a powerful impact. When I learned about Charlotte's Web and shit, I was like, this has a major impact on people's lives. And it is bigger than just the hippie, let's get stoned and have munchies, but it's good for that too. Let's not down the effect of that.
It's a magical plant. Let's be honest. It is magic.
Yep.
It's more of it on the planet.
See, it adapts to. It's one of these plants. We can almost. It's got a taste of everything else in the world. Every other plant, you can find the smells and the flavors all in this one miracle plant. Yeah, that has a little bit of. It feels like everything in it. And these plants adapt to the environment you put them in. You give them enough time, and they'll adjust and then become healthy. They might not start off that way because they weren't keen on the environment, but they'll adapt to it. And when we take it as medicine, it adapts for us. If you need it for one thing, it'll adapt for that. If someone else needs it for that, but you take the same medicine and it's adaptable in that way, just like the smells and the rice. Yeah, I'm going to get off on there because it's amazing.
No, right. You know what else changed for me, Ice and I, when all that revelation came about and I started putting all these blocks together, was the fact that when I seen that it was a true medicine for people, the whole fighting for legalization, it really took a whole different meaning. I was thinking, this isn't just a bunch of people that want to just quote unquote have their version of drinking beer on the weekends. You know what I mean? These are people that are trying to be able to grow their own medicine in their house instead of paying out the ass for it and going broke, because it is, a powerful thing to grow your own medicine, let alone grow something that's badass just to get you stoned like I do.
Us home growers take the corruption out of it. That's
man.
That's it. Home growers. If you're growing for commercial and profit, I'm not sure whether your heart's going to be in it as to someone like yourself and myself and a lot of our viewers and everything else. They're just growing to apply their own medicine rather than to make a bit of coin. And I think the plants respond to that as well. The thought and the intentions that you put into it all reflect in what you get out of it as well.
Yep. And the chat brings good points as always, man. No matter what you're doing, even if you're just relaxing at the end of the day, that's medicine, man. It's mental health, or if you're like treating, a severe ailment like seizures or something, So yeah, that's
someone asked me that question. It was a little bit tricky to answer. And they was like, what's the difference between smoking marijuana and medical marijuana? And I was like, well, and I gave a little bit of a long-winded, how smoking's bad for you and everything. But I just said it's perception. There's no difference. It's your perception of it.
Like Jason's saying, recreational is therapeutic, and that's true. I mean, downtime and getting high and having.
Let's not forget the therapy within just growing this plant and taking smoking and consuming it away.
Yeah.
That is therapeutic. The growing of the plant and seeing all the different bud structures, and it's just, that to me is a thing that should be taken away from nobody. Nobody should be spending any time in fighting the law when it comes to this plant. This magical plant.
Here. Look, you got mealworms in there, huh? Is that a mealworm?
No.
No, they're not. They just have overpronounced stripes. The red.
They're called tiger worms. There you go. They're compost worms. They're a little bit more adaptable than the basic red wiggler. I think they're a little bit hardier on the temperature. They don't mind it getting a little bit warm. You know, they'll stay longer. The red wigglers will leave before these ones. But yeah, and I think they might actually breed faster as well. So yeah, when I was choosing my worms, I was going to get. I think there are some red wigglers in here, but I think the tiger worms. I don't know what the scientific name for them is. But if you put tiger worm, that'll come in.
That's right. I don't speak Latin anyhow, man. I like tiger worms because I even mentioned they had stripes that were overpronounced before you even said anything. That's why I thought it was a mealworm, that skinny one. You know what the mealworms are? We fish for them for trout. They're usually in wood shaving. That's why
that's the wrong environment.
Yeah,
right?
They're usually in like a dry wood shaving when I buy them.
Yeah, I was going to try all the different types of worms. I was going to get some African night crawlers and everything else, but to be quite honest with you, is if I start adding up, it's just going to create competition, and I would assume that they might even compete with each other, which is probably not a good thing.
They got a nice snuggly home right there, and
yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is.
I've got one of it. My theory is as well, the way I do it is a lot of people, they load up their avocados with the food and they move it a little bit back from the stem. But I like to place mine right next to the stems. So all the tunnels and the aeration, when this is done, they're all going to move off and they're going to aerate this area around here. And everything that's being eaten in this avocado, I don't fill mine. I just put just a plain avocado on and let them have that. That's enough for them. It's just more of a treat than I'm adding nutrients in. But what I'm really after is what all the springtails and everything else, when they come in and they do all this cleaning up, they're just all their pooing and peeing and everything else is going down right into the root ball.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that the exudates and everything else we're getting off the springtails and the orthopods, all these microorganisms are what's going to give you taco trichomes on your leaves. In my opinion, well, it works for me. You know, if I didn't have them springtails and everything else in there, I struggle to see the amount of frost that I do. I've always it's a pattern I see. The more life in there, the more frost I'm going to get up here.
That's definitely the way I understand it as well. You're not the only person that's seen that pattern as well, and I like how you said it. It's definitely not the only way, but it's your way. And look how great it's working. Time after time again.
Yeah,
we've seen
over
you
and
grow and harvest using your method.
No, and considering this was heavily infested with thrips.
Yeah, I was just I was like, you fought off an infestation and they've come back thriving, man. Like you can't deny what your eyes see, right?
Yeah, and I think that the old the UVB is now coming into. I'm not seeing. Whereas a week or two ago, I was still seeing the odd one or two, and I was coming in, and I'm like, little bastard, and just squishing it on the leaf if I see it. But now I'm not seeing any, and I'm putting it down. Well, possibly the weather environment outside's a bit cooler now, but I'm putting it down to a period of time getting hit with my UVs again. So they've been under my UVs again for now about 2 weeks. So I think in the 2 weeks I've been hitting them daily with the UV, I've disrupted their cycle and has worked.
Right on. It's good to see that what you're trying to achieve is working on time and time again here.
And it's just hearing your story doesn't make me as scared as of getting.
Well, we've seen him
bugs
go
and
through it.
stuff. I mean, we've seen y'all go through so many
Hey,
things.
those ones are playing
they'll visit you at some point. Don't worry about that. You know.
I know. I hear time and time again. It's only a matter of when.
Bite your tongue.
But you will get bit.
Bite your tongue, Austin. Hold on, let me take him off the big screen, man. You lost your time's up.
Oh no, we don't work.
Oh my God! Wow, Spot.
That's it. You're out of here.
Hey, I got a weed miner, an ice burner, man. I'll hook it up to the tank and just go right in there with the literal flamethrower. We'll drag it out in the yard and just torch it all, man. That's what I mean about scorched earth. So I have an apology to somebody. I gotta mention this. There was a guy on Instagram, and he's asking me about something I was using or what I would use if I had an infestation, and I told him I would go scorched earth if I something I couldn't take care of very swiftly. You know, I wouldn't want to drag it out, waste a bunch of electricity and shit. I said, my situation. Well, he said, doesn't that shit have bad chemicals in it? And I thought he was being a dick. So I was like, are you not familiar with the term scorched earth and what it stands for? And he come back and was like, well, there's also a product called that. You don't have to be an asshole. So I went and Googled it. There's a product called scorched earth for spraying for mites. And I'm thinking, this is a perfect foot and mouth sort of thing. Yeah. I thought he was being a dick. So I apologized. I was like, dude, I thought you was being good.
When you can be anything in the world you want to be time.
I thought he was trolling me a little bit, and I took it wrong, and I jumped to conclusions, and I stuck my foot right in my mouth, man. Merry Christmas, everybody. I love you guys.
Merry Christmas.
I'm trying something new here. It seems to be working out really well, to be honest with you. The strawberries that you see, they're just in 7-liter fabric pots. So, but I've just cleared out a little patch under the pot, sprinkled down the mycorrhiza, the endoecto, trichodermis and bacillus and all that good stuff inoculated underneath there. And I've just now tried to lift this off, and it's pretty well attached now to the bed. The roots have gone straight through the fabric pot into the bed. And I think I might be I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna probably do the whole lot like this, and I'm gonna have a little play around with it, because that seems to be working out really well for me. And
that is awesome.
You know, I can sort of like bang bang some powdered bloom feed in there and not worry about it when I want the plant to senesce. If it's a little bit, you know, I want the plant to senesce a little bit, I can just lift the pot away if I need to. I think that's going to be a cool idea. And we'll see how it works.
No, I think it's great. It's the way to utilize that pot, man. I don't know. I like the idea. You got like a separate environment, but you're kind of sharing that pot, the nutrients and the worms that are in the big pot. You know what I mean?
But you know, I like less work.
Yeah.
So I can bring this out of my veg tent like this and just dump it straight on.
Yeah.
I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't got to dig in, you know. Whereas before, I was gouging out a hole, killing stuff every time I was doing it. Worms and my bugs are all getting harmed whilst I'm digging a big enough hole. Now,
the Buddhist in you wasn't feeling that. I know.
No more digging.
That's a great idea, man. And look how they're praying. They look like they have a collar and they popped it because they're showing some swagger, you know? Yeah. Nice to see that, Austin. It's always a fun time bullshitting with you about different things. It brings up invokes good thought, a process, you know, makes you wonder how some of the plant physiology works at the root zone with the exudates. Ever since you brought that up, I've been thinking about that type of shit, kind of dazing off a little bit. And
plus, anytime you're doing an experiment in your own garden, I think it's fun. And it's awesome to see the people that come to the show and they're on the show do these cool experiments. I got to bring up Seed Person 1 with all of his cool ass experiments that he's brought to the show.
Yep.
Fun times. And I think that's one of the most important thing to me about growing is having the fun in the garden. Because like I said before, it's therapy in its own self, in its own right.
It is. It is. It is. We want to take a minute and remind everybody that you can sign up for the New Year's Grow Challenge still at cocoforcannabis.com. It's going to be a fun one this year. We have across the ticker there the official strains. If you guys didn't win them and you want to grow them, you can check out Homegrown Cannabis Company and use the code there if you want to buy something from them. It'll save you some money. Other people have codes too. Doc, MJ, and a couple other of our friends there in there have codes. If you want to use theirs, don't pay full price. We get there's going to be a clone side challenge. So if you're into clones, or if you're good at taking clones, biggest cloned, the biggest one to get roots, the fastest roots. There's going to be giveaways and prizes. Smallest clone
taken. I think that some of those are going to be really cool. Smart and I don't have a whole lot of cloning experience, but we're going to get some more this time. This is going to be fun to do all that with everyone. Now you can grow whatever strain you want, your buddy's strain. You can go out with your friends and get awesome seeds off your buddies. There's a lot of people that come to this chat and that we support them and their seeds. We've posted their links. There's a lot of good people growing some awesome seeds out there. And come over and just sign up for the New Year's Grow Challenge. We'll all go these things together. It's going to be fun. I always like the growing with everyone. We start at the same time. I encourage everybody to come back here on New Year's Eve. We're going to have a seed drop.
A live kickoff party for midnight to start the new year, to bring in the new year. We invite everybody to come over and we're going to have some blunts. We're going to
drop some seeds
and come hang
with
out
us.
With us
come have some blunts. We're going to be blunts, maybe some coffee, maybe some champagne, but we're going to have good vibes and it's going to be a good time. We hope everybody stops on by and sign up.
It's fun. We're putting a lot of effort into trying to get people to grow, give them a platform to grow together and win some cool prizes and be able to share a bunch of knowledge. And we hope that people take advantage of it. It's helped us a lot in our grow and our understanding of how the plant works and how other things around growing work. And that goes for indoors, outdoors. There's no excluding factor at Cocoa for Cannabis in the Grow Challenge. If you're growing a cannabis plant, you can be involved. And you could probably grow a pepper plant if you want, I guess. Maybe not get into all the other side challenges, but come hang out, grow your plants, and
if you haven't pulled the trigger yet and you're still learning about cannabis and you haven't grown, maybe now's your time to shine with us and come on by. And there's a lot of people. I love growing with all the giants here that, Smart and I have learned time and time again, if we run into a problem, there's always someone there to give us a helping hand.
They bring a fresh perspective.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's what people need is if we get caught up in rabbit holes and we get tunnel vision and someone will be like, hey, did you check your pH pad? I'm like, are you serious? I go check it and it's way off. And I'm thinking, are you serious? Like I look like a total idiot, but that's how we get sometimes.
But it's happened, and it's happened probably, I think, live in the show even.
Someone try to get it up there for us. Good point.
Bonsai Garden Guy. We're gonna get that link up for you. You can go sign up. We're gonna drop seeds like we said on the New Year's, so you can come by and do it live with us.
Yeah. And what we'll do is show on Instagram. So we'll do that real quick. I kind of want to show them.
I do want to say that, one good thing, one of the things I love about Cocoa for Cannabis is Watt and I have grown all these different grows and we keep journals over at Cocoa for Cannabis. So, if we exactly how the plants grow, if we want to revisit, a plant, how it grew and how long it took to harvest, when we flipped, how big it got. I mean, it's so cool to have that information stored for us.
Thanks for bringing that out, bonsai garden guy. There it is. What else did we want to get into? There was something else up before that. I thought, did we have something else we want? Was it? I can't remember now. Shit. See, I'm
Stoner's brain. We get like that. We did come across some
you need to
anomalies.
Yeah, let me go find them here.
Which were pretty cool. I got to see some really cool leaves that were growing off our plants, and I don't know about all yins out there, but when I see that kind of thing in our garden, I just think it's the coolest shit. I like the abnormal sometimes, the leaf that just doesn't want to go with the flow or likes to work against the grain. So sometimes you need that variety.
Here we go. We'll be able to share it up. Let me get bear with me here while I figure this out. Go back to StreamYard, click the present, go to share screen.
Thanks for your patience, folks. And we hope that everyone has an awesome and safe, happy holiday.
Yep.
Stay safe out there.
Can you see this now, guys? This is our plants that we harvested yesterday. I don't know if anybody can see them. This is that purple tie. It had 5 nodes. They all kind of stacked up pretty nice.
Looks nice.
Yeah, good plant.
Okay. Some of our friends are seeing these for another time, and I apologize, man. Some of our friends didn't get to see them as close. See, those aren't huge, but you guys remember we had 10 plants in that tent, and they all turned out pretty decent.
Yeah, we have 2 canistrals completely stuffed full, and we got to harvest.
And we
took one early.
Yep.
She was just frosty and looked like she was ready above the others. So
here's the Stacy. My wife's garbage there, so you guys can see like she stacked pretty good. She was a stubby one, but she turned out real nice. She smells
beautiful, beautiful trachs.
Smells sweet like a gym sock.
Sweet cheese.
Yeah. That was a good picture of how she grew nice buds all the way down. Turned out really nice. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. The tent that's in the dark right now, we flipped. This plant right here is showing some real deficiencies for some reason. You can see it's got purple stems. And trust me when I tell you it's not a genetic thing. It also is showing slight magnesium deficiency. I'm not sure if it shows up on your screen, but it is. The other ones, they're doing all right. This one here got a few, see, a little bit lowers, but these pots are like pretty low. We raised the bottoms up and we lowered the top layer down to as low as it can go without it running out the hole. So there's probably maybe 2 gallons in these. And instead of it being nice and tall and like cylindrical, it's more like a flattened pancake now because we have the big pots and trying to run smaller. But I don't think it's going to bother us. They're doing pretty good. I'm kind of curious to see how they go. I'm from here on out using that much media for the size that we want to achieve. Let's see. Well, we got another one here that had, this is ones that had the lumpy buds, we were telling everybody earlier, and it had a little fasciation going on. You can see here the nodes were growing like all funky close together and clustered. It was fat like a celery stem.
Yeah,
it's not that easy to see here, I guess.
Yeah, it was more like a celery. That's the leaf I was talking about. That is just it was a wild looking leaf the way it grew. And Smut didn't flip it over. Did you get the under?
I didn't take
you didn't take the under picture, but it had a leaf growing out the bottom.
It was weird.
Coming out the other side of it. So that was really cool to see that. I've never seen anything like that before. So when we get those in the garden, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
This is the one that smelled like pineapples, real
big.
That
Blue Muta
triangle. It stayed small, but it got real frosty. The buds are hard as hell, but they're just small. It grew weird. The leaves were weird.
Very pungent smell. I cannot wait to smoke that. She was sticky, greasy, man. And like Smart said, she was a small plant. She had small buds, but she gummed up my scissors like real quick.
Yeah, man.
So I noticed that right away.
Thanks for letting us share those pictures, because we couldn't put our camera on. I figured I'd show. Some people might not have Instagram. We wanted to thank Chef OMJ, the American one, Seed Person one, OC Grower, for sending the seeds that we grew in that tent. Them was our friends, and they spent money for postage and stuff like that.
And just giving us seeds. That's just an amazing thing, sharing that medicine with us and those good times, because that's what it is. You shared the seed, we grew a plant, we had all that good therapy and fun times.
Yes.
And we're going to have that when we're smoking it. And, yins all rock. You're awesome. This community is freaking amazing. And we're back.
Almost done.
You're almost done with the setting up?
Well,
or
just
not the
that
setup,
part of it.
recalibrating.
Yeah, the pumps, calibrating the pumps. Yeah, almost.
Right on. I'm ready to smoke another bowl. What do you think? We got about a half hour left. A half hour left on our Christmas Eve show. We just passed our 2-year mark doing this show, and I can't say how much, I can't say thank you enough. You guys just pretty cool group of people that really make us feel like we're part of something much greater than ourselves. We appreciate that. You share with us, take us into your homes and show us your gardens, and share with us the stuff that you learned after years and years of making mistakes, and save other people those mistakes. That's pretty powerful stuff, and we don't take it lightly. So Merry Christmas to all of our friends.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We follow quite a few grows here over 2 years. Many grows.
Saw so many cool things too.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. We had a lot of help along the way too. Weed Nerd, Puffy, and a bunch of other friends helped us with computer stuff and showed us how to hook up cameras and do all different kind of shit. Been a lot of fun. Couldn't do it without people coming on to hang out, or someone in the chat bringing up good stuff. Oh, that's cool. Bonsai Garden guys registered for the Grow Challenge. We'll be excited to see you and follow along. New this year, you can use YouTube, or you can use this show if you like, or even Instagram, whatever you got to keep your journal, as long as you
regularly post
regularly
updates of the plants that you're growing. You can come on here and show your plants once a week. You don't have to stay long if you just want to pop on for a minute or two.
And that's a record.
Let us go, or let us know, how you're doing, or throw a picture or two up on Instagram.
And you're in. Yeah.
The last journal I did was a video journal, and I did it with YouTube, and I linked that all into my journal. So
that looks like some
cool.
righteous buds right
there.
Oh
yeah, that looks frosty, tasty. What's that, Iceni?
That one is OG cookies. It's a bit purpley.
It looks rock solid, man.
This one is Killer Queen. No,
You know
that's
what
my
that bud
favorite.
looks like to me? That's so nice.
That color green is pretty.
Yeah, this is my favorite because it's cheesy.
It's cheesy, huh? Just like you, huh? Hey,
the cheesier the better, right?
That's right.
That's how. Yeah.
Hey, you know what that bud looks like to me, Asana? It looks like a perfect mixture of proper light densities, good environment, and a person keeping the perfect amount of bud sites on their plant. And, you know, everything just seems to come out perfect when you do that. Or I should say on the better side than average. And you get those nice hard nuggies, you know, you get the right amount of them stacked all the way from top to bottom. It's good feeling when you hit that, you know. Oftentimes I don't cut enough off the lowers, I think, and it robs me. That's why we was talking with Art Man earlier. I think that sometimes I do myself a disservice because either I'm one being lazy or two at the stage when I'm cutting it, it seems like excessive. But by the time they're done and they're in the back of the tent and they're real tall and shit, I'm like, son of a bitch, now I can't get to them. I should have took more, you know, and I'm guilty of that a lot. I don't know if you've got a 4x4 grow tent, if that happens to you a lot or not. The front ones are cool. I can clean them up anytime. But once they get into a net and shit in the back, I'm screwed.
Yeah, they're hard to get to in the back.
That's why I got rid of my tent.
Buds, man, they look nice. Ice and I.
Yeah, it's a little Christmas treat.
Yeah, little Christmas trees.
Burnt rubber. Lunar cheese that Bonsai says he might be running. Then there's the UK cheese, and then I gotta say we like that cheesequake that he crossed that Violet Beauregard with, the American one.
Oh yeah,
it had a real good cheesy. But I've never had like a pure UK cheese or a Lunar, just a cheese strain. It's always just been a cross, and I usually get more of like a stinky foot than I do a cheese. But I guess those are kind of hand in hand. Smells.
I'm not too keen.
I love cheese.
I'm not too keen on the foisty cheese. What I call your sock drawer cheese. The stuff that it's almost like it's not been dried properly, and it's got you know, like a wet flannel.
Yeah.
When it's been left to dry, it's got that smell about it, and I'm not too keen on that version myself. I like the sweet, the really sweet, just stinky, loud one. But you know, it doesn't get you totally wrecked, I don't think. But it's just the buzz of just smelling the aroma is what gets me. And I don't get tired of the flavour either. There's a lot of stuff I do. But I'm going to be running the Amy wine cheese again, and I've just found some old cheese seeds from early 2000 that I made a cross accidentally with blueberry.
I saw that. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw those on the thing. Go ahead. What was they called again?
Oh, them ones. What I think on Instagram, they were pyramid seeds, Tutankhamun's. They're from 2000 as well. But yeah, they're sort of like or the last decade's seeds anyway.
That's 20-year-old seeds, man.
I'm going to be trying to hit them up with my Amy wine cheese, you know, and possibly an Amy Aces again. See where we go with that, and then start smashing it all together.
Yeah. I got an idea ourselves, Iceni. We made a bunch of seeds not on purpose, right? Well, we grew one of those not on purpose seeds. We have like 3 or 4 different kinds, right? But we grew one of the Macmosas, as you guys may or may not remember, and it turned out to be really good. And it was like growing a mimosa. It didn't really change it much. It ended up like the mimosa that we grew, you know what I mean? But so anyhow, we have other ones, and we're thinking about doing a whole sea of green in solo cups or maybe 1 gallon pots that are only like 3/4 of the way full or something, and do a whole tent full of those regs, pull the males and just flower them out, and just do like a 2-week veg on them just to see how they turn out, see if they harm, see what happens, just to watch them,
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe a couple end up real super fire. We might get some.
Yeah, well, that's my intention is, I'm going to find some eventually. I do find stuff, but I'm really lazy, so I don't bother taking clones and stuff, and I'll try and re-veg stuff. But eventually, I'm going to find something that's going to force my hand to be like, right now, I'm going to break out my silver nitrate, and I'm going to STS it. At some point, that's probably going to happen. So I'll be yeah. But until I would imagine next year at some point, I'll find something out of everything that I've just made, and I'll make a bunch of feminized seeds of that pheno.
Sounds good.
Just playing, learning.
Yeah, boy.
Playing
Then what
and
happens?
learning.
Then you have to debate yourself on what you want to grow next. It's like it's so hard to decide,
Everything.
right?
Everything,
It's
yeah.
Like, yeah. Well,
I swear you got to put them. Hey, there's multiple. When someone grows, this is funny. When someone grows, they're involved in multiple hobbies. Growing is a hobby in itself. Then consuming is a hobby itself. Collecting seeds is a hobby itself. And then it can go on even deeper. Some people like to collect vapes and bowls and bongs, and so you have like 6 hobbies in one. And that's why this is more than just a hobby. It's almost like a way of life. That's what I say. It
becomes a way of life.
It does.
When you're growing and being in a red state, you change your habits just not to get caught.
Some not for the better, but I like what Brian 420 is saying that I didn't realize they were that cheap. And Cool Grow, I'm gonna have to remember that.
Yeah, we'll have to hook up. We'll get some.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to hook up with some of that.
I'll throw these AC if anyone's in the garbage.
Well, I'd like to see,
these ones leak. They got zippers leaks.
Yeah,
not enough to do that damage because we understand them, but I do see a lot of tearing in the seals around the. You know what I mean? You could see pinholes all through.
Yeah, they're just pinholes. I don't really think that. I mean, I don't think that we've had problems, but even when the seeds that were an accident, I don't think that had anything to do with a light leak.
I don't either, because the one that harmed was in the back right corner, and there was nothing there to do it. But we're gonna grow them seeds. We'll have a Mac crossed with. You remember the strains?
We had Alien OGs. We had Peanut Butter Breath.
So we had the Max. The Mac pollinated another Mac. It pollinated
an Alien OG, and it pollinated a Peanut Butter Breath.
Yep.
And then those plants all had seeds. So
and a mimosa, right?
Well, we only got a couple seeds of that, and I think I only have like 1 or 2 of those seeds left because that was just you know what? In fact, that was like the very next grow. I thought
oh, that's right.
I thought we cleaned it all out, and I had come to find that I didn't do a good enough job because it wasn't me. There was some pollen left behind. I guess I should have got a little more moist. I didn't want to spray. I didn't clean the light. I didn't get any liquid on the light. It could have been anywhere in the fan system.
We don't know what caused the hermaphroditic traits to express either. Was it genetics, or was it something that we did to stress the plant, or was it, I don't know, to sound stupid, maybe a combination of both, but hey, we learned, and I should have had my eyes on a little better than that. It had to be nice to have a door that opens a little further than just one side. That's what I don't like about them AC Infinity tents.
They need that little door so that you can have access. It makes it easier.
I'm 6'5", man. I get back in there and I almost fell on my plant so many times trying to squeeze back there. It's not very easy, but yeah, we're going to grow those plants in a 4x4.
Yeah, because you know what? We flipped yesterday. So by the time that this tent is coming down, we're going to have, I think we can stuff a grow in before it gets too hot here. We can harvest the next grow by the end of May, I think we'll be safe. And that's
which gives us a good 11 weeks or something.
So yeah, I think we're going to have the time and might as well throw on an experiment we've been wanting to try. We've been wanting to flower out regular seeds and just pick the males when
I want to see
we want to try that for ourselves.
I want a true sea of green, man, is what I want. So yeah, follow along. Hopefully you guys will be chilling with us when we do that. And the haters might have something to root for, and the people that's with us might have something to root for.
I'm hoping that by then we'll have the tents up on risers. We're going to try to.
I want to see Art Man's plants again. I keep looking at them on the little screen.
Yeah.
I can't see good enough.
Can't see them on the little screen. No. We got to go through and put them back up.
Hey, Art, can we look at them again, Art Man, for people that maybe wasn't here whenever we first started? They look banging.
Yeah, if you were just showing up, or
I think got some massive leaves on it, Art.
They're kind of thinner than they were on the bottom. Some of the ones I just removed were quite wide.
Collecting
not as wide as that other one. I measured one on the Nakatomi Plaza today. The blade was 3 1/8 wide. Insane.
It's soaking up the light for sure.
And I don't have any burn. I don't even think I have any tip burn really, maybe just slight. But the EC is up, the light level's up, but I raised my pH to 6.4. So I've been running 6.4 with the same stuff, but it isn't burning anything. I don't know if I guess I should ask Doc tomorrow on the show.
Yeah.
If that has anything to do with it. But they're doing really good. They're looking good.
They are doing great. Let me get you back up here.
Yeah, they're doing
I got most of the squares have one bud. They will have more when they get a little taller. I'll move them over, but most of them do.
You still got some time left to stretch. What did you say? It's been 2 weeks?
Yeah, this is only 2 weeks in flower. So, and I just lollipopped it. So there's usually a reaction to that. They generally add a little height in my estimation.
And it seems like sometimes they take a couple days to really get rolling. That transition period between light schedule and shit. So that first 2 weeks sometimes isn't the biggest change ever. I bet the next 2 weeks you'll be pushing that light up off the ceiling.
Yeah, I've also got room between the plant and the light, and then I've also got room between the light and the ceiling. So I've still got room. And this light it's made for being closer to or it says you can put it closer to the plant. So
it's one of the advantages of having a more points of emission spread out versus, say, a quantum board style light.
Exactly. I mean, I put my power meter from one side to the other, and it did vary a little bit, but nowhere near what a quantum board light would be.
Right.
I mean, it was just crazy. It was wonderful.
Consistency is very crucial, isn't it? And it's nice to have those densities get distributed evenly from the window to the wall.
Well, you see, there aren't a lot of them. Usually it's a bowl-shaped canopy. They usually have a lot of tall stuff on the edge, going down each edge. But this time there aren't a lot of it. I'm not sure if I can credit to light, or there may be a few things.
I love it, man. It's good to see everything firing on all cylinders for you over there, like usual, But you recently, looking back on the year, man, you also had some bugs and shit and had to suffer the reset,
You know it. Well, I'm back. Gotta get jars. I'm good. My press is hungry though. My press has been eating a lot. Yeah, it's eating a lot.
Your press is hungry.
Chew through some water.
What's that?
Were you saying it's chewing through some water?
No, I said it's chewing through my stash.
The stash.
Oh,
My press, my rosin press.
It's always hungry.
Yeah,
Always
it's hungry. It's like feeding a hungry mule.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Hey, I'm curious, Art, man, because I mistook what you said there, and it made me think of something. You lollipop these girls, and I know you took a buckets off. So, because it was so full, and if he was here earlier, you saw that picture of the before. Those, will you notice a difference in the amount of fertigation solution or water in your reservoir that you lose over time, or is that not something you would notice because of how you top off? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I would notice that. I just started writing down how much I put in on a top off.
Okay.
I just started that, the last few days. Maybe eventually I can tell you that answer, but I do top it off, and I swear in 2 days it drank 5 gallons. So that was two plants. I mean, they're drinking like crazy. The transpiration is off the scale. It's really hard to control.
Yeah, that was where my thought process was going there with you, is that you might see that better now too, because of the you have less stomata for that to open up and lose moisture and shit. So in this instance,
that was part of my logic of doing it now, because I've had trouble with we've had 40, 50, 60 degree days outside. So the furnace isn't on and humidity is high.
Yep. And this is a good example of what we call pruning, instead of defoliation, because a lot of times I see a lot of people, they will indiscriminately strip their plants when it doesn't really need it, and I think a lot of times it does more harm than damage. But in your instance, more harm than good, more damage than good. I mean, thank you for stopping. No,
you ever seen him schwazing? Right? And then you ever seen the schwazing technique? I'll tell you what, it was called 3 Pounds of Light was the book. These people were stripping almost every leaf off of the whole thing. And by the time they were done, these plants were looking really good. I don't know how the hell they did it without killing them. Honestly, it was terrible. They were abusing them.
How many plants per square foot did they have, Art Man?
I can't remember. I looked at I looked at the book once. A friend of mine had the book, and it was 3 pounds on 1,000. What's that?
Yeah. I think it's one plant every 8 square inches or something like that when they run those kind of 1,000 plants per table kind of a deal. It does look full, I've seen a few of those, but in most
these weren't that small. These weren't that small. These plants were at least a couple feet, 3 feet tall. So, but I think it was 1,000-watt light, 3 pounds of light was their bragging rights. So, but the book was like $500. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I could see it happening, but I would say in most instances in people's home grow, that's not going to really do them much. They're going to waste a lot of electricity for their return on investment. And I think what you did was a good example of strategic pruning. And this is one that's going to really help you in direct growth to where you want it and things like that. But if your plant only had a couple little small colas, what you did wouldn't have been necessary. And I see that a lot. And the way the growth rate on that Flow OG, she rips, man. And you might have to do that again, right?
No, I won't. I know I won't. I will not. I will not. Not again. I won't do it again at all. Not to that degree. That's for sure. I don't strip anything else from here on out. Probably.
You're done the whole way through. See,
unless leaves are laying on top of each other, you get that moisture between 2 leaves. That's no good. You want to get rid of one.
Yeah, and that always scares the shit out of me. That's why I'm always in there later in the flower, man. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get some of these out of here because I feel like as they get heavier, but you got your net up. And this last grow, we didn't have our net up. You know what I noticed? The heavier they got, they started to fold out and started leaning into each other. And I'm like, shit, I find myself in there every other day. It seemed like taking a couple here, a couple there, because they're smashed together, you know. But you do have the tent, you got the net, and you have a much bigger room, which kind of gives you a little more freedom.
I'll still probably use yo-yos though on this batch. I'm thinking they'll probably get taller. Each of the bed sites will get taller and thicker. And this strain or this cultivar, I will use the yo-yos probably. Should be interesting.
Yeah, mega thirsty between the flip and 3 weeks. I agree, Brian 420. I always notice a spike in my EC runoff right around the time that the bolt's happening, and I chalk it up to the growth, you know, the exponential growth that you get during that part of it. They really start processing a lot of water. And
you saw mine.
Yeah.
It also depends on the style of growth too. This one gets a lot. It goes fast, like deep water culture. You can look at Weed Nerd stuff. I mean, it just grows so fast. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. You know, he was able to start plants, get them close to flip, abandon them, start again, and get close to flip before we was done with our veg, you know. So it was like literally twice as fast with his system. And he does. He's a guy that's there a lot, keeps an eye on him, and really understands the plant and his style of growing. Very much so. It's pretty wild. And that's like,
I can't wait. I can't wait to put something. I can't wait to put something in the tent, man.
That'll be good. We can't wait either, buddy.
I know you got so much work invested.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I won't have to do that for another 3 or 4 months. Like I said, you pay up front or you pay in the end.
I want to see the fruits of the labor, man, for you. You know what I mean? I want to see you get you get what your due. You got it coming to you, man. You put all this work and thought and expense into this, and you know you're a man out working hard for your family and doing your thing, and you're still getting to grow, and I love it.
That is pretty cool. And you know, with the system that you're running, it speaks to the people out there that have, you know, limitations and can't be in their garden even though they're there. This is a system that would benefit them.
Yeah, if you choose to grow in that style, you could really get down with what's going on there.
Well, I just hate mixing newts too, just like everybody else.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah. Let's see if
I wouldn't have the patience to do what you do, Spot.
You have the freedoms too that just get up and walk away.
I'm a homebody, man. I spend a lot of time at home. I'm self-employed, so I make my own schedule a lot, you know, and most times. So I'm able to get around a lot of the things that hold other people up. And I think I've been doing it so long that it's just like second nature now. You know what I mean? It's just like getting up, taking a shower, doing anything else. That's just part of my daily routine that, and honestly, if it changes, there's going to be some adjustment period.
Oh, yeah.
To change from being in there as much as I am.
But there are always times where we run into both of us can't be here.
Yeah, like, that's when we get
and mad. There's, you know, things where it just gets missed or has to go to the wayside because things come up. Life comes up. Family comes up. And
that is a big thing in the ass, having to mix up newts every time. That's why I'm trying to set up an auto watering system with a larger res, you know, like a 15 gallon. So I'm hoping I can get, you know, close to a week's worth of nutrients out of one mixing. I don't mind hand watering, but mixing sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The way I usually do it, Jason, is I mix a stock solution, you know. I take a 5-gallon bucket. I'll mix it as if it's like, say, 10, 15, maybe even 20-gallon bucket, depending on the growth and the EC that I'll have at the end of it. So I mix that stock bucket, and then every day I'll take it, and it's such a salinity for me that I am able to add like 2/3 fresh water to 1/3 stock solution, stir it up, and then I'll put the pH correct, and give it to him. And that gives us our fresh dissolved oxygen, and it keeps me mixing one stock bucket every, say, 4 days, 5 days or something, depending on, like I said, stage of growth, etc. So maybe that's something that would help you out. You do have to watch your stock bucket. If you're keeping it unlidded or in a dark, like a clear container or something, it can grow nasties too fast. You can put beneficial bacteria in it. You can put H2O in it. And then these are ways that'll help you extend the life of your shit, so you can do a little less labor, you know? If that helps at all. Just some thoughts. Boy, that looks good, Ice and I. Let me hold something, man.
It does.
Start, dog.
He's going to drive a nail in with it next.
Yeah.
That's a solid bud.
Yes, it is. Arm.
That's really gassy and earthy, this one.
That's cool, man. We still have one bowl left. Let's pack it up. One last bowl with our friends before we leave for the holiday.
For the Christmas Eve Smart Poker YouTube channel special.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm hoping that Cheap Home Grow will be on later, but it's Christmas Eve, so I don't know. I can't remember if they did last year or not, or what.
I can't remember if Jack said anything. I can't remember
either, but if we don't see you there, I hope everybody has a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas, a safe one, of course. Intel helped us have a merrier Christmas by being here, by being our friends, and just by hanging out with us. Shins are all so freaking awesome.
Yep.
And you're very important
all year long.
All year long. And just having Yins here means a lot to us.
Just like all of our viewers, our friends, whatever you want to call it. I don't like the word followers. I think that's weird. But anyhow, the friends that come and hang out with us, they're just like us. I'm sure there's days where you guys come here and you might have some other shit on your mind, or you had some heavy shit happen the day before. I mean, we hang out every day, or twice a week all year long. So we come to these shows sometimes with a heavy heart or something on our mind, and if hopefully you're like me, you get a little freedom from that for a while, and you get to talk about something that really is near and dear to your heart and kind of takes you away from that. Not that you're running hot from it, but we all need a break once in a while, and it's really cool because I often think we're just a couple stoners from Cocoa for Cannabis hanging out with our friends who like to grow their own medicine and shit. But it has taken on more of a life than that. I have had people message me and say, "You didn't have a show today, man. Now everything's messed up. I really look forward to that, this, that, and the other." And that hits home. It's like, damn, it's a little bit bigger than just stoners hanging out anymore. And that's kind of where it started. So it does. It means a lot to us. And it's very endearing to have you guys come and enjoy
And you let us totally share what we're doing. We don't get to do that with anybody.
Nobody in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, real life.
Okay, you guys. I want to say thank you for providing this forum for us. So Merry Christmas to you. It means a lot to us, and it means as much as it does to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Awesome.
I see Brian 420 says, "Let's Be Buds has a giveaway show tonight, 7 hours from now. We'll definitely have to."
I'm gonna try to grab the link.
The link there, and
I'm gonna put the website up there too. And
thank you, Hoobie. That's very endearing as well. Our friends all are so nice to us all the time. Message us and stuff, so I appreciate it.
We're family.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome. Where it's hey,
XY, you got some plants growing there? Is that a plant? Oh, almost.
Yeah, that's my little. Well, that's why I was getting my pumps all set up. But that's my little Charlie Christmas tree, Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
I love it.
That is pretty cool. Yeah!
I think I started the seed back on your last show, or maybe 2 shows. No, last show. Yeah, Wednesday.
Kind of lonely in there, ain't it?
Yep.
Yeah, the other one's still not quite up yet.
It looks lonely.
Yeah, you can't even see it. Well, I planted 2. I gotta save some space.
Right on.
But,
I'm glad to see that.
It's nice to have that like plant growing.
Yep.
For the holiday.
Oh yeah. Well, my system ain't been running for a month, so I gotta get it going.
Right on. Yeah, and you've harvested now a little ways back, and you're after a week or two, you start to feel that tug on your collar. Hey, you don't have a grow going, and you're walking around like, what am I supposed to do with this extra time I have? Like, I gotta get something growing. There's nothing alive in here.
Yeah, I need a plant for my eyes to look upon.
Yeah,
it does my soul some good.
Yeah, I pay for it a different way. Since I'm not around it all the time, I have to spend a month getting it all reset and ready for the next year. So, but it should run for a year, I think, before I have to do anything to it too major.
That's a perfect example of being able to grow regardless of your lifestyle and how you have to grow or decide that you want to grow, or how much time you're willing and able to allot to your your medicine and what have you. So I think it's pretty cool that it gives people hope, whether you want to be there every day like my wife and I, or be gone for 3-4 weeks at a time like XYZ. There's ways around it, and we encourage everybody to overgrow the plant and keep sharing the knowledge and share the genetics and spread some grower love and some collaboration in the community. That being said, we hope everyone has a safe Merry Christmas. We're going to go around the horn and give everybody a chance to say their goodbyes. And we might run a couple minutes over, but we'll start first here with our buddy Jason A. You want to tell everyone goodbye and how they can find you maybe when you're not around here?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, I've been on the Ask Dr. Coco show, and that's where I found you guys at, matter of fact. So I subscribed to you guys and caught a couple chats here and there. Just busy life, so just off and on here. I actually don't have my own channel or anything going on, so I'm just kind of a loner right now. But yeah, you'll see me off and on here from time to time. Probably going to be stuck in trim jail for a while, but you know how that goes.
I do. You're not a loner anymore, Jason. You're welcome back anytime, brother.
Yeah, and we're here in spirit. We don't have to trim alone because we can hang out with you.
Yep. We'll be back.
Well, Wednesday, I might be trimming Jason on one of your live shows in here because it's last time I paid someone to do it, but I'll probably do it myself this time.
Smart. I like that. You get to know your bud, see how it developed, watch it, check for any sacks it might have developed that you missed. I mean, that's an important part of it, to really get in there and get. Yeah. For me, I love that part of it. Just the first little bit, then I'm like, shit, I'm ready to be done.
But it's really cool to see it done live.
Yeah.
We've been lucky in the past to have people come on and trim while we're watching, and we always encourage that. So that would be awesome.
It'd be great to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Next up,
take care.
Yep. Oh, sure. Next up, how about you, Iceni? Iceni. I'm gonna always mispronounce that now. I do it out of love. I don't do it out of any disrespect.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, honestly, it's fine. But yeah, thanks for having me. I second what Artman said. Yeah, you guys putting this on for us is giving us another place to come and hang out and share the love and receive the love. So thanks a lot. Cheers, everyone, and look forward to spending some time again next year with you all.
Right on.
Awesome.
All right, up next would be Artman. Where'd XYZ go?
Artman. Did he drop?
Out on us. Yeah, he dropped. That's why I stuttered there, because I usually I go down the line.
Yeah, he was right next and then right. Sorry. You're up, buddy. Artman.
Okay. Artman, 2 N's, 420_ at Instagram. Thanks for having me on. I hang out over at Coco for Cannabis too, if you guys want to see me over in chat. So thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Awesome. Merry Christmas to you. It's awesome to have all you audience guys hanging out here with us. XYZ, thanks to you. Big shout out to you helping out over at Coco for Cannabis and being a challenge leader. And I encourage everybody to go over to Cocoa for Cannabis, sign up for the Grow Challenge, and grow with us in the New Year's Grow Challenge. And we will see you all later at the Let's Be Buds. We posted the link in chat. And thank you for hanging out with us, and Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas, Smart. Thank you. Please subscribe, Smart Poker YouTube channel if you're not already.
Cheers, everybody. Grower love and Merry Christmas.